Hey, what's going on with it, y'all? I know it's been a minute, you know what I'm saying, since I've been on here. And but I kind of made it clear, I'm the reluctant YouTuber, Y'all don't have to guess who it is. You already know. It's Guess Who, the rapper, a.k.a. the Grand Ambassador, Flesh Dynasty, here to lace your brain with some incredible and glorious game. Once again, man, and before I begin, you know what I'm saying, if you like yourself, hit that like button. If you like someone else, hit that share button. But if you love yourself, hit that subscribe button, man. If you want to be certified and to be notified, hit that notification button, man. And, on my little sabbatical, I've been finding out things of, I like to become the message before I deliver the message. And not gonna lie to y'all, sometimes the symptoms get in the way, but it's getting a little better now. But I wanted to make sure that let y'all know that I am watching what's going on in the current events and what's going on with Trump and the DC and how we need to conduct ourselves and keep informed of what's going on. Make sure that our lives are on one accord with the Most High and the Lord Savior Jesus Christ, which is the key to the glow. And the game is the information that'll lead you into that destination. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I want to explain something to y'all when it comes to this whole thing with Trump and, what's going on in D.C., what's potentially about to go down in Las Vegas, or has been going down in Las Vegas and about to happen in New York, where I'm from. Listen, this is my take on politicians in general. Listen, I don't endorse any politician, be it Republican or Democrat. Neither one of them. I've never voted a day in my life. I've never subscribed, hit the like button, or shared anything in support of a particular candidate or a particular politician, because I realized as a youth, I've learned this from a long time ago. I mean, very young, that seat is a puppet regime. That seat is not where the authority is. That seat is somewhat what you would call a satanic seat. It's controlled by people who are Luciferians. And the United States, not America, but the United States is a corporation that was formed back in 1868. They incorporated a corporation, and under the guise of you thinking that it's a country unifying together, they called it the United States. So it's actually a corporation, privately owned out of England. I have references to that. It's a corporation privately owned out of England, and when you understand that and have that understanding that the United States, not America, is a corporation, you realize that it's being ran like a business. And then you have what you call presidents, that, every corporation has a president. So therefore, what that means is that if every corporation that has a president, they have what you call to purport in front of the people elections, but they're really selections of the people who are the shareholders and the stock owners and the true owners of said corporation. So who do you think you are electing, when I've understood that they are selected or selected? So all of this is a horse and pony show. All of this is smoke and mirrors when you feel like you're voting for a particular candidate. Now here you got on the left side, I like to call them the Democrats or the Devilcrats. or the far left, and they represent liberalism. So they are called liberals. They are responsible for, the rainbow mafia, the junior mafia. They're things like trans gender rights and the LGBTQI or the LGBTQYMCA community. So they are responsible for, what you would call socialism. They have like a lot of socialist type policies that they would like to put forth. And, and another thing is what they would like to call reproductive freedom, meaning they're pro-choice, meaning if they want to have the child or not, or to unalive the child or eliminate the pregnancy. Those are on that side, and they are, a lot of them were responsible. The Ku Klux Klan or the KKK comes from that party, and they are what I like to call, and what Malcolm X taught me to call them, are the foxes. So they are the type that smile in your face and befriend the black community, and they all pile us into one community called minorities. So you have black people, though we are a minority in the society, they try to compile us with, the LGBTQ community, Latino community, everybody. They bundle us and pack us up into one when we all have separate issues. So that's the left side. Now on the right, you have the Republican Party, of what supposedly this country is supposed to be, a republic, meaning that's who the founding fathers of, they call this country America, they have founding fathers as if they found this country. They found this paper country, this corporation, yes, but this land is stolen land. It was stolen from the North American Indians, right? So, or Native Americans. So, what we have here is a Republican Party. So they represent conservative. They are more conservative. So they're called a conservative as opposed to the liberals. So they are supposedly conserving like the traditional laws of God, supposedly, not really, but it gives you that veneer. But no, that's not what's really going on. So what they're doing is they representing, build yourself up by your own bootstraps, taking away welfare, taking away these social programs that represents socialism. They're more capitalist. So they like, you go out there and get it yourself. And they are more so of the traditional family. But when you go far right, they're conserving their traditional ideas when it comes to their policies. So they'll put out executive orders to bring forth law and order. And they're really representing white nationalism. Neither party has our best interests at heart. I mean, the black community. Now, me knowing what the identity, the true identity of the black community is that we are the children of Israel. We are the Israelites, the 12 lost tribes of Israel. That includes Judah, particularly the ones that were brought on slave ships here to America. They are representing, by and large, the tribe of Judah. And when you say Judah, you shortened it. You shorten the word Judah, or the name Judah. The short word for that is Jew. So we are by blood, not conversion or not by anything like religion. We are by blood, lineage, by passed down from father to son. And, we are the true Jews, or the true children of a man named Judah, the fourth born son of a man named Jacob, whose name was changed to Israel. Now you have people that I like to call the junior mafia, posing as if that they are Jews, and they call themselves Jewish. They are the Jews that became Jews by conversion, or purported to convert into the beliefs and the practices of the true children of Judah, or the tribe of Judah, or the real Jews. But these people that are claiming to be Jews, they really aren't. They are Europeans, and particularly they come from Europe, near the Black Sea and the Caspian Sea. They are not Jews by blood. They are from their father, Japhet. Japhet had a son named Togarmah. Togarmah had seven or 10 children, and one of the sons was named Khazar. Khazar, the children of Khazar, had an empire called Khazaria. And the children of Khazaria, or the empire Khazaria, they are what you call the Khazars. So they are Khazarians. So that's their true lineage. So they're not Shemitic at all, or Semitic at all. So they made up this term called anti-Semitic when they are Japhetic. They're not Semitic at all. So when you put that together, you have two sides. You have the Republican and Democrats, and I brought up the junior mafia because it seems as if they're the ones that are in power of all the finances of the world, majority of the finances of the world, which they are behind running the banks, the international bankers, or the money masters that own this corporation through England and all their different banks, this company called the United States. So when you see in Trump passing an executive orders, he's just like Philip Green in the movie Casino, who was the president of the casino called the Tangiers Casino. But the real owners was the Midwest crime bosses. That represents the families, or some of them are the top ones are so-called Jewish families called the Rothschilds. And they have 13 bloodlines of families that are running these corporations behind the scenes. And it is their policies. Notice I said policies and not law. That policies are not law. Policies are exactly what they are. Policies of a corporation. We, through our birth certificates and being U.S. citizens, we are employees of this said corporation based out of the District of Columbia, which is like a 10-mile radius office building for this corporation. And you would think that it has its own city and state, it's like representing D.C. or whatever, or Washington, you know what I mean? But it's really District of Columbia. So I'm breaking all of that down to show you that the president's seat is not the seat of power. That's the seat that is taking orders and pushing the agenda of its stockholders or its owners. And I just gave you one name, like Rothschilds, Kennedys, De Beers, Rockefellers, those people like that. these families gather together and form a group called the Illuminati. And then they have different branches of the Illuminati: Council on Foreign Relations, Bilderberg Group, Trilateral Commission. These are the people or the organizations that produce policies, or what they would like to tell you, laws. But the Bible says they would think to change times and laws. But it's through policy that they're making it, given the force of law. Now, where am I getting at? Now, let's take it down to D.C., the District of Columbia. Trump is, through the home rule, or stepping over the home rule, taking over, and this is legitimate or legal. It's unlawful, but it's legal. Lawful is that represents the Constitution and things that you are not supposed to do. Legal is, the corporate policy, things that circumvent the Constitution. So to eliminate and destroy the Constitution. So they have a legal right to take over this small proximity office called District of Columbia. So he not out of nowhere. This has been the plan for I don't know how long. This has been the plan. First, it began with the Hispanics, you see, or the Latinos, or immigrants, migrants that are illegally entering into the country via the Democratic Party. Remember that when they was coming in and they had all sorts of amounts of money on their food stamps, housing, all of that stuff, and they were, unidentified and undocumented migrants in here. So on the left side, this creates a problem or an issue of chaos, overstepping the United States citizens, and they're getting benefits without being naturalized or authenticated in the country, really in the corporation, right? So now, this is a real sick game. So now you bring in another candidate via Trump, from Biden to Trump. Then he comes in and supposedly has to clean all of this up, getting rid of the migrants. So they start out with ICE. So here they begin the enforcing executive orders, not laws, but policies called executive orders to get rid of the illegal immigrants out of the country. Though it was the Democrats who caused them to be in here. So they're getting rid of them out of the country, only to be a pretext to go after the public enemy number one. Y'all already know who public enemy number one is. That's us. So now they got the force to round people up, basically going door to door, walking it, seeking who they may catch or like devour, like the devil does, to get them. Mind you, these people, these Japhites, these white people, they are definitely here illegally. They conquered, took, and murdered for this land. Unalived for this land. And now they have the power to tell other people who belongs in this country, who is not. All right, okay, that's a whole nother story, but I just thought I'd mention that. But yeah, now they bring in Trump to get rid of them out of the country. Notice they were bringing all kind of Ukrainians in here. They're not looking for no Asians. They're looking for Hispanics to get them out, because some of them belong to cartels. Not all of them, but some of them. Probably by and large of them are looking to get out of their country, seeking asylum. But they try to criminalize them. The reason why they doing that, because they want to do that to the main target. The main target is us. We've been criminalized since we've been here. That goes back to basically they're reenacting what they call laws, but what it really is policies and executive orders or codes like Jim Crow. They want to violate us, you know what I mean? So once they target them, the Hispanics and the Latinos or the illegal immigrants, and then they get them into detention centers in order to deport them, put them on airplanes, deport them. Some of them deporting to different countries altogether, from what I've heard. Some of them is deporting them to Guantanamo Bay. No trial, no due process, no nothing. Just scoop them up, create as if they're a bunch of criminals, getting rid of them. Then they target the Haitians, saying they were eating the cats and dogs and stuff like that. They got to get rid of them. Then Trump says, talking about their criminals that are domestically in here, and they need to get rid of them too. And then just recently, he started naming cities, Democratic cities, that had like black female mayors. And the Democrats, black people, you know, yeah, they are part of it too. They're, you know, misuse of funds and stuff like that. And the city is going down within crime and stuff. But recently, in the District of Columbia, crime has been down about around 26%. But all of a sudden, these powers that be sends down their policy, their agenda, what they always been wanting to do from day one. All of a sudden, there's an explosion in crime and in all of the major cities that just so happen to have black people in it. So now they need to get rid of crime. Just like the war on terror, the war on drugs, the war on crime. No clear and present enemy, just something that just something that's so vague and ambiguous and can mean anything. But the truth is, they're targeting us. That's who they want. So with that being said, you have the outcome of him, you know, with this home rule thing and, you know, potentially violating posse comitatus, meaning that you are, this is an act that was put in so to prevent the president utilizing the United States National Guard or military to do regular civilian or policing civilians as opposed to police departments. He federalized it to where now the federal government is walking the streets of DC and guess what neighborhoods they're choosing to walk through? The crime-ridden neighborhoods, the ones that's dropped down 26%. We all know who the crime neighborhood is via the, you know, through their propaganda, labeling us as criminals because we're poor. So boom, now you got, since it's been federalized, got the feds walking through the streets, giving a military presence, turning it into a police state, an outright legal police state. So where they're harassing, detaining, arresting black people. That's what they really want. And they have an agenda, what they would call International Criminal Court, that they want to put out since the 90s. And I'm going to show y'all this. I'm going to go all on this and get more in depth. I'm just preparing y'all for what my videos are about to be about. And it might not be, you know, my face. You might see me in the faceless videos or whatever. Or it might be, you know, I'm feeling a little better. But, so, in this International Criminal Court, they want to, you know, violate every right that is supposed to be protected under the Constitution in order to violate you, to detain you, and enact something that they try to enact with Obama, NDAA, to give you indefinite detention. Meaning, once you get locked up, that's it. You can be in jail or in prison for a word called forever. It's absolutely frightening. We got to speak up and stand up against this. And who they're using? Donald J. Trump as a figurehead. He's not the boss. He ain't running nothing. They're running things through what they call the Trump administration. But it is their administration, and they're demonstrating to the people they're really targeting. They're targeting us. They know that we are poor, impoverished, and some of us by and large are homeless. And that leads me to my last point, because I'm going to go into all this in more depth. They are targeting the homeless because they have a lot of encampments all about the city that the Democrats and all them created, to have, these encampments and of instead of helping and getting funds allocated to help them, no, they just keeping them like an eyesore, in certain communities. When I was in San Francisco, I saw a lot of that. A lot of encampments and, just poor people. And they had them in a certain area. And they were, allowing them to give them drugs to wean themselves off. Then they'll have the Republican Party and Trump saying, no, we need to not support any of those social services by giving them drugs. No, we basically need to get rid of them. And the saddest part is that if they're in a city or area or something like that, they have to pack up and move. Or they could be arrested and fined. When did it become cool for you to find someone that's homeless in prison, in jail, someone that's homeless, when a lot of these homeless shelters are overpopulated? I was once homeless. And then label all homeless people as if they have a mental issue, or they're on drugs, or they're criminals, and label all of them that. Therefore, you can mistreat them, arrest them, no due process, just pick them up and arrest them because they're homeless. Fine them, give them tickets, and fine them. He and she don't have anywhere to go. They don't have anywhere to stay. And you're fining them. You're giving them tickets. And then if they can't pay, you got a bench warrant on them. Now you can arrest them. This is what I was going through this whole time. Like, you know what I mean? And on top of my own issues, but absorbing all of this. So I got to say something against this, because I know where it's coming from and who it's coming from. You know what I mean? So now they done targeted the homeless and the poor. God is against you targeting the homeless and the poor. We're supposed to take care of the poor. When you had a vineyard, you couldn't glean all your grapes and all of that stuff. You had to leave some for the poor. They're leaving nothing for the poor but to imprison them, because they have private prisons for profit, and they got to fill up these so-called prisons, which really are what you would call going to be turned into detention centers or concentration camps for us. And then eventually they're going to want to terminate us or eliminate us or annihilate us, unalive us. That's the real true agenda. And they're targeting the children of Israel, and particularly the tribe of Judah, which is the black Negroes here and foundational black Americans, what they call us. So I'm going to be going into all of that, the operation delineation, all of that. So this is what they're doing, man. So when you seeing DC, Feds, DEA, ATF, FBI walking through the neighborhood. I seen a clip where the dude was, he was just smoking a cigarette on his porch, and they walking around talking about there's no smoking or drinking in public. I called my friend Henry, who was an Asian Korean guy. He was on his e-bike frolicking like it was nothing going on. The sky was blue. I asked him, did he see any of this going on? Any of these agents, federal agents, walking around his neighborhood? No. Why? Because he stays in a white neighborhood. This is all targeting black people. And I've heard certain people like Judge Joe Brown saying that, yeah, it needs to be cleaned up and all that. And that's cool. But at the same time, that's who they're targeting. They're targeting us. So, hey, man, as usual, I'm just here to put some paint where it ain't, say what most can't, and give y'all the game of what's really going down. The game of what's really going down. And the title of this video is, this is two wings of the same bird. Why are you voting? Especially if you realize you're the children of Israel. Malcolm X taught me this. I've heard, he said, you have black people saying, our government. And he said, I even heard one say, our astronauts. They won't even let them near the plant. And our astronauts, our Navy. That's a Negro that's out of his mind. That's a Negro that's out of his mind. I heard D.L. Hughley getting mad with Snoop for endorsing Trump. But he endorses Kamala Harris and the other party. We ain't supposed to be endorsing neither one. They're two wings of the same bird. I've heard this all my life. Who are you? Why are you voting for the mumps or the measles, the lesser of two evils? That means no. And every majority of the presidents that's been elected, or what I should say selected, will belong to the Council on Foreign Relations, except JFK. You know, they got rid of Lincoln and JFK for the same reasons. They weren't down with the program. And you may say Trump not a part of the CFRs, but you can tell because a tree is known by its fruit. You know, everybody thought Trump seemed like he was cool, so that he supported black foundations. He, Jesse Jackson, and he would, write you a check if you had business with him. You know what I mean? But he's just a figurehead. You would think he's cool, but he's not. Proverbs 29:12 says, if a ruler hearkens to lies, all his servants are wicked. All of them, whether they come with a smile or a growl. You know what I mean? Whether they're a fox or they're a wolf, they both have the same appetite, man. That's what I'm here to let y'all know. It is over. It's time to pray and get our lives right, confess our sins before the Most High, walk in the Spirit of Jesus Christ, and have the Holy Spirit claim us as their own, because he's the only one is going to save us out of this, because this is what the Bible calls Jacob's trouble. That's what they're preparing us to do. They want to institute the mark of the beast in your right hand or in your forehead. This is the end game. So I'm here to, of course, to give you this glorious game once again. So they're sending out I'm going to get into the whole Albert Pike and what's going on in, they call it the Middle East, but we call it Northeast Africa over there. In our homeland, black people's homeland, is Israel. That is being overrun and trodden underfoot by the Gentiles, who is the Japhetic people, or the Khazarians over there, or the Khazar warriors from Khazaria, Jewish people over there inhabiting our land. So y'all get ready for a rough ride. So this is what I'm here to do, man, and put y'all up on game of what's going on, so you could be aware and get prepared, because they're going after the homeless. Anybody that wants to live in a Sprinter van or don't want to, or live in a van and their cars and stuff like that, and you living within the city limits, they're coming for you. They could just boop, 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 knock on the door, question you, boom, boom, harass you, and eventually they're just going to detain you because they're going to classify you as a homeless mental person or drugged out person who don't have nowhere to go. They got a place for you to go. So these people are covenant breakers, and they're not with us. They're satanic, and they're taking orders. I'm talking about the politicians are taking orders from these bloodline families who own the banks, and the people, the bloodline families of positions of power that represent the Illuminati. They are taking orders from Lucifer. They're Luciferians. They taking orders from the fallen ones, the fallen angels that's written of in the Bible. But they all gonna be wiped out by the Most High in Christ, who is a black man. They're all gonna be washed away, and the Most High is gonna protect us through this whole ordeal. You know what I mean? So, look, I just had to come here, let y'all know what's been going on. I haven't done some content in a while, but I'm back. You dig? So, you know what I mean? Y'all have a blast past a while now and greater later. Live the life of your design so you can have a good time for a lifetime. Live the life of his design so your life will be divine for the rest of your lifetime. You already know what it is. Guess who the rapper, a.k.a. the Grand Ambassador of the Flesh Dynasty. Always here to lace your brain some incredible and glorious game, man. Y'all stay prayed up. You know me. Y'all stay up and stay prayed up, man. Be protected out here. I love y'all. Peace.